them in the margins. I want people to hear their stories. I want them to understand what it's actually like living in this situation. And I want them to wake the hell up. I want people to wake up and to do something about this.
What's next?
Well, we've been doing this for 3 or 4 months now, really since August, right? And we have 17 published zines in 8 or 9 languages, and we have quite a few more in the pipeline. And some of our authors are already working on a next zine. And so we're very grassroots, very purely volunteer driven, which is a beautiful thing. And it really goes to show what is possible, what we can make happen when we come together and all care about the same thing with one objective. And so we're almost functioning like a little publishing house, a grassroots publishing house that's creating these pieces of work that are so easy and cheap to print and to assemble and to distribute, to give out, to sell. And of course, one thing I failed to mention was that all the money that we make from the sales of the zines go to the individual writers, so they get to make money off of their work. So for now, this is what we keep doing. And I feel like this has inspired many. We are over 250 people in the collective now, all around the world, really, truly all around the world. And I hope that more people are inspired by this and more people are moved into action, whether, you know, their action looks like this or something completely different. So I want us to be able to imagine a future that is very different from our current reality. I want us to feel encouraged that we have power and we can do things. We can reimagine things as well. I was used to working a certain way. I was used to going through structures that have been there for an eternity, and it was very hard for me. For years, I was very frustrated with publishing, and I knew how much I could do as an Arab woman. And I knew what I couldn't achieve also compared to my white counterparts. And it doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to be satisfied with their crumbs. We can do something else. And I feel like this might be the beginning of something else.
Thank you, Layla. Just last thing, because we had a lot of conversations, and I really want to share this with the people that Layla mentioned something about, like, for 2 years we should have been doing this. I mean, and I always say that, yes, we've organized a lot of events and we've been covering a lot what's happening in Gaza, but I feel that we haven't listened enough. We haven't given the space enough, and we haven't moved beyond the victimhood of the people in Gaza. And it's important to highlight how people are resilient, how they are doing and working and producing and creating every single day to survive the genocide. And it's really, for me, this event is about this, is also acknowledging that Gaza is beyond victimhood. It is a place where people are surviving, are trying to survive, are doing a lot with tremendous resilience. Thank you, Layla. Today we will be hearing from 6 writers out of around, as Layla mentioned, 17, 18 who have joined the project, 4 of which are still in Gaza. All 6 are survivors of the ongoing genocide. We will hear from the writers along 2 sessions with 3 writers each, so we ensure they have the space to share their thoughts and experiences with us. The first session will host Taqwa Al-Iwawi. Taqwa is a Palestinian writer, poet, and editor from Gaza, studying English literature at the Islamic University of Gaza. Through her writing, she strives to amplify Gaza's voice and shed light on stories too often left untold. Each piece she writes is both a testimony and act of defiance against erasure. Every word she crafts carries the weight of lived experience and the promise of a better tomorrow, a future she is already shaping with courage and purpose. Her work has been featured in leading international and regional outlets such as Al Jazeera English, The Nation, Middle East Eye, and many more. Samah Zakkout, a Palestinian writer, translator, and lecturer based in Gaza. She graduated from the Faculty of Arts, English Literature, as one of the top students, and worked as an English lecturer at the university, a translator at a local institution, and an online tutor on Preply. Samah shares her writings on Medium and Substack and has contributed to Politics Today, Electronic Intifada, and We Are Not Numbers. Her writings have been featured in a play performed in the United States and in a big event held in Vancouver, Canada. She's also part of the Zine project, and her zine won the Best Political Zine category at Wellington Zine Fest. She also contributed to a book that will be published soon. Noor Abu Aisha, a writer, storyteller, and journalist from Gaza, driven by a passion of creative thinking and psychological insight. As a survivor of the October 7 war, she broadcasts her lived experience into powerful narrative that center the human condition and amplify Palestinian voices. Her work has been featured in The Guardian, Mondowise, The National Scotland, Prism Report, Baladi magazine, and she is a proud member of the We Are Not Numbers. Noor aspires to become a Palestinian ambassador, carrying the kufiyeh and sharing our stories with the world. Shahd al-Naami is a writer, translator, and English literature student from Gaza. Writing has always been her way of preserving memories, amplifying voices, and documenting the truth of her homeland. Her work has appeared as on platforms such as We Are Not Numbers, Al Jazeera, Mondowise, The Electronic Intifada, and others, where she focused on stories of resilience, culture, and humanity in the face of hardship. Mariam Khatib is a Palestinian writer, poet, and dental student currently based in Egypt. A survivor of genocide and displacement, she uses literature as a form of resistance and a vessel for memory. Her work has appeared in We Are Not Numbers, Every Review, This Week in Palestine, and Palestine Deep Dive. Ahmed Al-Khawaja, a Palestinian writer and storyteller from Gaza City. His work explores how time moves through people, how memory, loss, and resilience shape both individual and collective experience. Through fiction and creative projects, he seeks to capture the subtle intersections between history, emotion, and the present moment. Please welcome with me Taqwa الواوي, سماح زكوت, and Noor Abu Aisha. أهلا وسهلا. Taqwa, Samah, and Noor, you will be with us in the first session. We are very honored and pleased to have you with us tonight. So I want to start with the first question. If there is one thing you'd like the audience to know about you that is not in your CV and short bio, what would it be? I'll start with Taqwa, please.
Hi everyone, I'm happy to be part in this event. Thank you all for joining us. Actually, I want all the people to know that every single piece we all write, everything is scary, everything we have endured in this genocide. Every word and language never truly touched the surface of what we have lived through during this genocide. Behind every story, there are layers of pain the world never sees. And actually, we try to convey everything, but sometimes words simply fail.
Thank you, Taqwa. Samah.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank you all for giving me this opportunity to participate in such a great event and to amplify my voice. I hope that people will hear our voices for so long, and thank God it's happening right now. The thing that I want people to know that is not included in my CV is that we are humans like everyone else, and we do have rights, and not only rights, we do have passion and dreams that really color our days. For example, I don't only like writing, I love cooking, I love singing while at home. My friends used to tell me that I have a good voice, so I sing while at home. I love cooking so much. I was like the one who people go to when there is a birthday. So I do the dishes and so on. But unfortunately, during the war, cooking has become the thing that I hate to do because simply I spend so much time on cooking on fire just to like to finish with a just a plate fill up with canned food. And sometimes it's like I'm always worried, I'm always afraid that I'll be burned or something because of the fire. Sometimes it catches so like widely, which makes me always afraid. Sometimes like this makes me like it makes me reach to the point that I don't like cooking anymore. Even when sometimes I want to cook, I just remember these days that I was suffering while cooking, I was struggling while making these dishes. So it stole me this hobby. I also love swimming, but again, sea in Gaza has become a place which is so dangerous to go to. And I feel always that even the air in the sea is now different. I don't know why. I felt that the sewage, the tents, the dust, the rubble that surround this sea, the Sea of Gaza, makes it sometimes unrecognizable. Like I feel it's different. So we do have so many dreams. We do have so many things to do. We do have a passion, we do have talents, we do have rights, we have a family that we cherish. I have 5 sisters and 1 brother, and the best parents in this world. And I do love them so much to the extent that I can't even think that I can leave them. I got some scholarships abroad during the war, but I couldn't make it like the decision to leave them. So I want the world to understand this and to treat us as equals, because this is what we deserve to.
Noor, we can hear you very well if you'd like to continue.
Yeah, yes. Something I want to share that it doesn't write in my CV that I love life and I love dancing in the shadow. I love cooking in the medleys of Balik Hamdi. I love life, but here in Gaza, they take all of things we love. Yeah, I lost everything. I lost my favorite comfort zone in Gaza. Yeah, my room, my place where I grew up. And now I'm just finishing the days like this without making something I love. Yeah, I'm just wasting my time in Gaza here. Yeah, I want to practice my favorite hobbies, but I can't. There is no tranquility here to allow me to practice all the things I love. But I'm still here, yeah, speaking to you even in the street now, and the rain behind me and in the background. So we are not numbers. Yeah, I just want to all of the people consider us as a human being with a passion, with hobbies, with yeah, with this emotion, with the psychological. Yeah, we share the same cycle. I want all of you to hear that. Yeah, we love life, but they just put us in the box and to us you have to adopt this life. And I don't want to adopt this life. I want a life as you. So here's the thing I just wanted to share with you that I didn't tell in my CV.
For opening really your hearts to us. Let me go back to Taqwa. Taqwa, you wrote in one of your articles, writing is not a cure, but a testimony. Do you think they can be both? Can sometimes testimony be a cure as well?
I do believe writing can be both. Actually, I write because if we don't document our stories, the world will only hear the Israeli occupation's narrative. And that's unacceptable to me. Writing allows me to share our truth and carry the voice of my people to the world. As Dr. Rifat Al-Arari said, may he rest in peace. Every person here has a story, and these stories deserve to be told. At the same time, writing is also my form of healing. We can say my therapy. Okay, it drains me emotionally because of everything we carry, but even in its difficulty, it remains essential, not just for me, but for ensuring our experiences are remembered and understood.
Taqwa, was there a moment where you needed to write in order
Yeah,
to heal?
absolutely. Yeah,
Can you
absolutely.
share with us one story where you really felt this writing is going to help me heal?
Actually, I started to write about everything I lost. When I lost my friends, all of them, I write a full article about this topic. I felt I should to write about these things, to document these things, and to talk to the world, look about what is happening here. I lost all my friends, and I want to make all these names to remember the world. We are human like you. We have a friends, but the Israeli occupation stolen all these friends from us. So I felt in that moment I should write these stories to document it.
Noor, can you hear us?
Yeah, yes, I'm
Yes.
with you.
Good. Yeah, good. You also wrote once, I once dreamed of a vibrant youth full of achievements, love, flowers, and candlelight. I imagined a face in life rich with meaning on every level, but the war took everything from me. Do you think writing can help you bring back things that
I
from you?
I believe that writing doesn't bring back those I have lost, but it brings back my voice. It's the only way I can scream without fear, the only way I can summon moments ounce full of life and resist the idea that the war has reduced us to mere numbers. Yes, writing helps me reclaim meaning, even if I cannot reclaim everything. Like I once wrote in the cover of my zine, I write despite the pain that grips me because I believe words can survive even when we don't. I wrote that line in the midst of heavy pumping at the time when I had lost all of the hope of surviving. In September 2025, I left my home just one day before it was bombed. I was writing because if Dr. Rifat Al hadn't documented his voice, who would remember him these days? May he rest in peace. So the writing is the only way for us to be remembered in this unfair world that you live when your voice will be up.
Samah, you also wrote in a war that has displaced over 90% of Gaza's population, belonging is being redrawn. Can you share with us, Samah, how do you think belonging is redrawn in these days? What is bringing people together, and how did the genocide change the sense of belonging?
As Palestinians, belonging for us was to belong to two things: to the identity, the culture, the heritage of our like our Palestinian culture, uh, like to dress the Palestinian soap, to dance on Palestinian songs, to eat the Palestinian food, to read Palestinian art. This is about the identity, to wear the kufiya, to like this is about the identity and about the culture and about the heritage of us as Palestinians. But it's also about the place. We've been born here, we've been raised here, we've been educated here. This is the place that shaped us as people, as human beings. uh, we've been taught how to deal with our friends, how to deal with our families, how we know the air of our city, the sea of our city, the neighbors of our city. We make friends. So it's not only about the identity or about the culture, it's also about the place. But now the place is almost erased. The place is turned to rubble. The place is fractured. I think Gaza is now unrecognizable. Like I can confirm that more than half of Gaza is now unrecognizable. I walk through the streets, its streets, and I can't know where I am. I still remember I was lost with my father in one of Gaza's streets, and we were just walking and asking people where we are. We just go to a destination and we don't know how to go. And that place was one of the most famous places in Gaza. We know it very well before the war. So the war had turned everything upside down. It erased this. So we still belong to the culture. We still belong to the heritage. We still belong to Palestine and Gaza. But we don't feel that we can belong to this destruction. We don't belong to this destruction. We don't belong to this dust. We don't belong to these rebels and to this place which is only like it only carried the pain and the sorrow and the agony of people who've been suffering for almost 2 years and still suffering. So, and we do fight to feel that we belong to this. Like, even when Gaza is destroyed, even when it's only rubble, even when it's only dust and sewage, we still want to belong to this place that shaped us, that raised us one day. Not because it's now, I can say, it's like it's changed, so we don't want to belong it anymore. No, we are not like this. We still struggle and do our best to belong to this destruction, and still can't know how to belong to this destruction. And this is what I mean, that the genocide has changed everything, and it has redrawn this feeling of being belong to this place. I do believe that we are still rooted to this land, but we are lost. We are lost in our city. We are lost in the place that raised us. And this is again the vicious circle that we've been living in for so long time.
Samah, I think your last words bring me to the next question, which is for the three of you. We can start with Taqwa. Could you tell us more? What does it mean to be a writer under siege and ongoing genocide? If you can talk to the challenges, you've talked a lot in previous conversations about decision making, about a lot of challenges that you're facing. Maybe you can share with us a glimpse of how does it feel to be a writer under genocide? Noor, can you hear us? Maybe we can start with you.
Yes, I wrote to We Are Not Numbers that I guess my journalist career as a reflection to my trauma here in Gaza. Yeah, once I survived a massacre. Yeah, I want to tell all of the people what happened. So I will not be a journalist if I didn't write my first person articles. Yeah, I feel that my career as a reflection to my trauma, my own story, that I survived this massacre. So I write. So I left. I know what I have wrote. So I I survived two monsters in this war. One of them was at the beginning of the war when we refused to leave west of Gaza, and they just bombed all the secret of my house, and we live. And I don't know how we live, but still we survive. After that, I survived one of the most horrible monster you can ever hear in your life. That I was teaching my children at the nursery school 2024 in August. Once I hear the sound of muscle. Yeah, you can hear the sound of muscle before it happened. So, and I just lay down in the ground. Yeah, I hold the ground. Yeah, I survived with mine, but all of my children, they are still young. I cannot run to survive them. So all of them just die in order my eyes. Yeah. After that Moser, yeah, I was totally depressed. Yeah, I cannot leave my home. I cannot do anything, just crying all of the day. And my trauma just in crying. And you know that feeling you cannot survive someone just die upon your eyes, you know that feeling. Yeah, but I have one issue with journalists, with the platforms that they are just consider us as breaking news. We have a free martyr scene and for injuries there. We didn't care about our psychology and how we lived that experience. And yeah, you know that we were all together before a minute, then all of them die and I survived. No one just care about how we were alive and then just yeah die. So why all the people just consider us number? When I chose the name of my zine, yeah, I didn't think of anything, but I am not a numbers, because all of the people just dealing with us as a reporter, as a yeah, as an article, as a testimonies. Yeah, you're just die. Yeah, yeah. As a journalist, you need to give me a three testimonies about this event, about this masters. Yeah, life will not goes like this. We are a human being, and I will just tell all of the people I am not numbers. I will raise my voice. I am not numbers. I have a psychology as you. I have an emotion like you. You feel, and I feel. Yeah, as you. When your cat die, you are just depressed for a year. And what I should do when I lost my best friend, when I lost all of my students, when I lost my favorite home. Now I'm just standing and the rubble of my house, yeah, uh, behind me. Can you imagine that I cannot be in my home and now I'm in the street talking to you? Yeah, I cannot imagine how much difficult we endure this life, and I don't know how just I have the patience to endure all of this. Yeah, but I do not all of I sometimes I hate journalism. I hate journalism, but I have no choice, because in this way I can't let my voice to be up. I can tell all of the people what happened to me in my first hand, in my first hand article, as a as a survivor in North Gaza. Yeah, I lived all of the war here. I lived the starvation. I lived the disciplement. Yeah, I was disciplined without taking anything. Yeah, just I have a lot to say. I have a lot to tell all of the people what happened to me during this life. It's 2 years from my life, and yeah, it doesn't end. There is no end for this war. Yeah, I feel of that. Thank you all for listening to me.
Thank you, Noor, for sharing with us. I really feel we need to take a moment.
Yeah.
Thank you all for sharing with us all your stories. I would like to ask maybe Takwa if you can hear us.
Yes, I can. Yeah, actually, it really hurts me. Um, the world only sees us like this, as if this is all we are. So, under an 18-year-long siege, our suffering didn't start on October 7th. It started back in 1948. So, I wish the world could see us as people just like them, with dreams. And even with all the attempts to erase us, we keep studying and chasing the dream that the occupation tried to take from us. I'm not saying life isn't extremely hard, it's unbelievable here. But please don't get used to seeing us only as victims. Look at us as human beings.
Thank you, Taqwa. Samah, if you can also add to this.
Yeah, sure. Um, Again, I want to repeat my all, like the sentence I always say. Writing in Gaza is a specific kind of grief, and being a writer in Gaza is a specific kind of grief. I have been writing since I was in the preparatory school. I love writing. I was writing prose and poetry in Arabic. And then I entered the Faculty of Arts English Literature, though I was so excellent in the scientific branch. Everyone was so surprised. I should become a doctor. I should become an engineer. This is like the normal thing here in Gaza. I don't know about other traditions, but I chose different paths. I chose to study literature because I love writing. I think it's the thing that helps me like introduce myself to the world, maybe speak what I feel inside, maybe pour my bleeding heart outside. Sometimes I just feel that it's just a talent and I want to get it out because I love Arabic poetry and I love prose. So I started to make similar things when I was in the preparatory school. I enjoyed reading them. So I want to write something different. But after this war, I feel that writing is not bringing me this joy anymore. It takes me to the pain. It makes me touch the moments that I want to forget. It makes me touch the pain that I want to forget. But again, it helps me pour my bleeding heart out. I remember like an advice Dr. Rifat was saying, try to write everything, because after a while you will just remember things that you are about to forget. So it's just you are documenting. And again, as Noor said, we are documenting things that we are no longer we no longer prefer to remember them again. She said she lost her students. May they all rest in peace, and I'm really very sorry. She makes me she makes me remember the moment I lost my grandfather. Yes, he is old, but he was so dear to me, and I love him so much. He was a very kind person. He was very generous, and we were visiting him maybe twice or three times weekly, and he was always giving us that kind of cake. Its name is hohos. I still remember the name and still remember the shape of this cake. It's so delicious. And my mother got some of them yesterday because it has recently entered Gaza, this kind of candy. We do remember him. I remember the way I got the message that he passed away. I will never forget this at all. I was going with my father out and my sister to get some internet connection. Again, we have been struggling a lot to get this internet connection for a very long period of time. No internet connection was found in Gaza except in some spots where some youths who are selling internet via their eSIM cards. So we went to these spots and we got some internet connection by hour. And then I know that his health condition is deteriorating and that he is dying. I don't know. My grandmother and my uncle said that he couldn't he couldn't endure this suffering anymore. And this, let's say, lifeless existence, this suffering, this displacement, and being torn away from his home and his room and the place that he loved, the people he knew, and the room he never left. made him unable to process it all. Made him, I'm sorry, the electricity cut off. Yes, back. Uh, Made him unable to process it. So his health, I think, always, as Noor said, our psychology, it's like reflected in our health and our, you know, and our mind. His health is speaking. His health is speaking the unspeakable, and his health started to deteriorate again. And I was shocked knowing this. So we made a very quick call when we are home, mobile call. It was very like shaky, but it worked. And we were all sitting in this very dark room. I still remember the scene, faint lighting, and it was cold. It was winter. We were all gathering, and we started calling him, trying to tell him to to hold on, to try to try to hold on. So his room is still standing, your home is still standing, your home is still standing, please hold on and we will get back, because he was in the south and we were in the northern parts. And at that time no one of us was able to go to the other part, you know. He was unable to respond at all. No word, no word. Literally, it was only the silence and just that's it. He was only saying and I feel that he wanted to say something, but he couldn't. He couldn't speak. I do feel this. I tell him, please, Sido, you will be back and your home is still standing and your room is still standing. And my mother took the phone and she started crying after this. And then I went with my sister and father, and like my mother didn't come with us. I think she was unable to get any bad news. And she was waiting in the house, waiting for us to come, and just worried, you know. I went with my sister and my father to another place where there is internet connection, and just scrolled down on social media, and I saw my aunt publishing, sharing a story, praying for my grandfather to get well soon. So I responded to her and said that maybe he will get soon. And she said, your grandfather has passed away. It was like a slap. It was like a shock. I didn't manage to get it at all. I started crying with my sister, and my father was not with us. He left to get something from a nearby market and returned. When we were crying, a young woman saw us and she came close and she said, who died from your family? It seemed like it's too familiar. Everyone lost a person who is dear to them. Everyone, even your sister, your brother, your father, your mother, your best friend, your cat, my fiance has lost his cat. And he was just telling me the story yesterday, and he told me that he went to the grave to bury her, and his mother was yelling at him because it was dangerous, but he couldn't leave the cat outside because it was so dear to him, and he was crying. Everyone lost a person dear to them, and I do lived in this fear for 2 years, and still that I may lose someone who is dear to me. I don't think I can handle this. I don't think. But still, we do believe in God, and we do believe in faith, and we cling to this faith that they are, inshallah, in the highest heaven, and they are living better than us. I do say this to my mother after 1 year, because we have gone through so many hard days. We've been displaced 13 times. Every time was like a nightmare. It was really, every time felt like death. We've lived through the famine, that period of time when we haven't found a loaf of white bread we were sorting black wet and try to clean it for hours under the faint lighting so my father can get it next day and try to grind it and knead it and so on, because there are no white flour available in Gaza. And then we turned to grind the corn and to grind, I think, oats, other alternatives, which can like no longer feed us, and it doesn't make us like before. So again, we've gone like through so much fear and displacement orders and terror and famine, everything. And I keep telling my mother, may he is the one who really survived this. Maybe those who died are the ones who survived, because they don't see what we see and what we are still seeing till now. Till now, we are still suffering. Yes, there is a ceasefire, but till now, for example, we can't decide whether to return to northern Gaza or still in central Gaza, where we are now, sheltering in a tent, because simply we are afraid to return to the north, and then the war erupts again, and we had to flee again, and we have to displace again, and to find something to rent. Everything is unbearable. It's really suffocating. Really suffocating. I do believe, yes, if I want to speak about what happened since October 2023 till now, I will need hours and hours speaking, because I have experienced so much pain and suffering. I remember just now, I remember one night where I cried heavily just because of fear, just because of the bombardment that was non-stopping. For 7 hours, it didn't stop. For 7 hours. There is one night I lived 7 hours of non-stop airstrikes. Why? Because the whole neighborhood had been targeted, and we were in this neighborhood. Thank God we were spared, because our house was not targeted. But the idea is that we lived this experience, and this experience of suffering started from October 2023. And 9th October, just 2 days after this war started, we have forced to flee our house, our home in Al-Karama neighborhood, the pretty neighborhood where I lived for almost a decade, building a life and hoping for a better future. And then everything turned in a blink of an eye. At 2 a.m., the whole neighborhood was forced to evacuate, and we evacuated. We left the tower we were in. It was a very long tower, and we had an apartment there, and we left. All of the residents of the building left in the cold winter. It was dark. It was cold. It was like empty. And we filled the streets outside at 2 a.m. And we just sit waiting what will happen next. And we don't know what to do. And this is again the idea of the decision-making crisis in Gaza. We sit outside. We don't know whether to return or to stay or to find another place to go to. One family of the residents decided to return, and then they reappeared again outside. So it seemed that we do have to evacuate the place. So we started walking the streets, and then a very strong missile struck the area, and we started running and screaming. I will never forget these screaming of the children at that time, till one of the neighbor opened his door and let us in for one night. And then we left to my grandparents' house. And then after almost 1 week, we know that our home has been gone. It's gone. My beautiful room, the purple room, that beautiful room with our pictures hang on its wall, it's gone now. And again, I want again to focus on this topic of the decision-making crisis in Gaza, that till now, we can't decide whether it's safer to return or to stay. This is this is the vicious circle we've been in for so long.
I'd like now, before we open the floor for questions, I've asked every writer to prepare for us reading from their writings, just a very short part that they will read for us. Maybe we start back to, I think, Noor, if you want to start to read the part that you have chosen to read for us tonight.
Yeah, sure. I will start.
تفضلي نور, thank you.
Yeah, I was meant for firewood, but the tree embarrassed me. I leaned towards my mirror, gazing at the reflection of my bleak feature and at my almond-shaped eyes, whose spark has been dimmed by the sorrowful nights of the north. I touched my limbs as a mother would touch her newborn after awakening from the agony of a child's breath. How can I believe that I remain whole, that my body survived intact after escaping the fire of a shell that nearly served one of my limbs in a sudden raid? Fear had seized my heart back then. I saw death with my own eyes, yet it did not see me. I hid behind an olive tree, afraid that my brave heart might challenge it, and I would be lost by it is mine. Might. I whispered to myself, the olive tree is rooted deep in this land, and it would not allow me to be cut down for firewood while I sought shelter beneath it. The olive tree will protect me. I will root myself in it as it has rooted itself in my homeland. The scene was harrowing. Just moments before the earth fell, I had been standing beside the building, calm and attuned by Baligh Hamdi. I had grown used to combining models for my stories whenever the rhymes of my language failed to express the calamity swelling inside me. I let the music carry me until my vocal cords were thin by fear. When I hear the show, everything became a blur. Though the sun was high, I saw the flames over everything in madness, even the bodies of my children, as though fire preferred their small firms above all. Death became inevitable, that end which had chased me so persistently since the war began. I had fled from it many times, and now it had nearly climbed me. I don't know how I want to clutch the earth behind the olive tree. For a fleeting moment, I imagined it was my mother. I embraced it as a child embraces its mother, insisting that the darkness of night is nothing but a mirror, as long as he resists in its arm. Had it not been for that tree, I would have been crabbed corpses, my ashes nourishing the roots of the remaining trees, and then forgotten as we so often are. Thank you
Thank
for
you, Noor.
listening. Yeah, thank you.
Taqwa.
I want to read one of my poems, okay? With title Blind Wolf. Blind Wolf, keep ignoring us. Turn your face like you always do. Shut your eyes to the blood. Stay silent while we burn. But we are here, erased from your maps, trampled in your headlines, reduced to a footnote no one reads. We are dreams lost before their time, faces blurred in your screens, silence pinned to a wall no one remembers. Keep pretending, live your life as if nothing happened. But remember, we held a life better than yours. We hid you when you sleep, as our children dig their graves with bare hands. We hid you when you laugh, and our voices break inside our throats. We hid you when you move on, as if nothing is happening. Not because you are strong, but because you are cowardly. Because you know, and still choose not to care. Blind world. Maybe you will erase us, but you will never wash yourself clean of us. We are the scare you cannot cover, the voice that refuses to die. We are the ones who never forget. Thanks for listening.
تفضلي.
Yes, I'm going to read part of my article, When Silence Screams. A silence heavy as grief. The worst, heaviest silence I've ever known was the one that settled over us that final night in mid-November 2023 in my uncle's home in the Beit Lahia compound. 7 hours of non-stop airstrikes, bombs, missiles crashing, debris raining from every direction. The neighbors screamed through the walls, "You are still alive?" It was a night that felt like death. We truly believed it was the end. But then just after 6 a.m., a silence prevailed. A silence heavy as grief. A silence that carried 1,000 bells. Should we move now? Could we make it out? Could we all come out of this unharmed? Could we even make it to Jabalia camp alive? I sat in the middle of the living room, the space we all thought was safest. I was gazing at the sky, waiting for the sun to rise, for light to break the night. I was whispering prayers in the silence, praying for dawn to come. I stared not through a window, but through a giant hole a shell had blown through the wall. We got out. Later, the news confirmed the whole Beit Lahia compound had been targeted. So many were killed. So many were injured. That's the thing about the silence. It hides what's already been taken. We somehow were spared. And then came another silence when we made it to my aunt's in Jabalia. A silence laced with exhaustion, unbearable fatigue, and a thick weariness. Sat in it saying nothing. Maybe in shock, maybe unable to process it all, or maybe wondering, will we survive another night like that? When silence ends, it's not with peace, it's with another scream, and we go back to waiting for silence again until a new strike breaks it and then leaves you again, spinning endlessly in the vicious circle. One day my father went to buy falafel from a place just down the street. Soon after he left, a powerful airstrike hit the area. I kept calling him, frantic, trying to reach him, but he wouldn't answer. Each time I called, it went straight to a voicemail, and I kept calling over and over, unable to stop. Finally, he answered, saying, "Yes, I asked him where he was and why he hadn't answered. He said, "I'm on my way back. I got falafel for you all." I burst into tears, overwhelmed with relief, and asked him, "Why didn't you reply? I thought the strike was close to you." This is the reality for every Gazan. People prefer to stay in their homes and shelters together because if someone has gone out when a bomb strikes, the waiting and worrying will suffocate you until the person outside comes back. Because when a strike hits, so many civilians are lost simply because they were near the blast. People outside Gaza ask me what it's like during the war. They imagine fire, chaos, and screaming. That's true, sometimes, but also it's about waiting. Waiting in kitchens and shelters, in cars that won't start, in tents, in schools turned into refugee centers, in your own home, which no longer feels like home. It's waiting while the silence grows longer. I've learned to live in that silence. I've written poems inside it, whispered names into it. I've even begged it to stay longer because, as terrifying as it is, it's still better than the sound that comes after. Sometimes I wonder what it would be like to hear silence that is not made of fear, just quiet, real quiet, that kind where you can hear the sea or the laugh of a neighbor through an open window, the clink of tea glasses, a lullaby. That's my dream now, just a silence that doesn't hurt. Thanks for listening.
And let's open the floor for questions. I'm afraid we're going to take only 2 questions because of time limit, and we want to, the other writers are waiting also for us. Anyone would like to ask anything to the writers?
Thanks very much for sharing your voices and your courage
and giving us an insight into what we usually never hear. And I wanted to ask if the experience from the past 2 years have changed your way of how you pursue writing?
So, who'd like to start? Noor.
Yeah, exactly. It shaped my writing and it shaped my experience. It shaped me. Uh, yeah, you know that you know I'll do you remember these songs that say no time to die? Yeah, here, yeah, I can feel it. Yeah, there is no time to die here. Yeah, I want to make a lot of things. Yeah, I want to write. I want to dance. I want to make something different before I die. Yeah, cause here in Gaza, you can die at any moment. So I want to make something special in my life. I want to write also something special in my life that all of the people remember it when I will die.
Thank you, Noor. Taqwa.
Yeah, actually, it changed me because I have to focus on every single word I write. Every word matters. This is not just a war, it's genocide. So words also reflect the writer. So yes, it has changed us.
Samah. But please, I would like to ask to be brief with the answers. So we
Yes, sure.
go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yes, it changed again. First of all, it narrows the topics to cover. I don't cover other topics except the personal narratives or features of people living and experiencing this in Gaza. And it changed me because it made me touch the moments I've lived before. So it makes me more like a human who's like responsible. It adds to my responsibility, honestly, to tell the world from a human civilian perspective.
Thank you, Samah. Yeah, I think we can wrap up the session and thank, really, in the name of everyone here, I'd like to thank you. Noor Abu Aisha, Taqwa Al-Wawi, Samah Taqoot. Thank you so much for being with us and sharing your stories.
It's my
Please
pleasure.
remember,
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for hearing
everyone.
us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
and we hope we will have more sessions with you, more events, more panels, more meetings.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. As we move to the next session, we thought this event is about writing, and we thought that this event cannot go on without paying a tribute and honoring Dr. Rifat Al-Ar'ir, who many of the writers keep mentioning him, and you will hear more about him. Dr. Rifat is a poet, writer, and professor from Gaza who was assassinated by Israel exactly 2 years and 2 days ago. Dr. Rifat has been a mentor and an inspiration to so many young writers from Gaza, including many of the Zines writers. Dr. Rifat believed in the power of storytelling as a form of resistance and mentored many young writers in Gaza. He co-founded We Are Not Numbers project and edited Gaza Writes Back book and co-edited Gaza Unsilenced book. On December 6, 2023, Israel assassinated Dr. Rifat along with his brother, sister, and 4 of his nephews. Tonight, we honor his memory. May his soul rest in peace and his words live forever. Please welcome with me Shahd Al-Naami, Maryam Al-Khatib, and Ahmed Khawaja, the next 3 writers that will join us for the next session. Ahlan wa sahlan. So I'm going to ask the same question I asked in the first panel to every one of you. If you could tell us one thing that your CV and short bio does not tell us about yourself, something about yourself. Please, let's start with Mariam.
Hi, it's an honor to be here and listen to each one. What I wanted to say that I love being loved in Gaza, and I love documenting Gaza not merely as a city, but as the pulse of our beings and from the nation that we stood in, guided by an unverting sense of justice, appreciate the project of purpose and the clear eye for what is happening each in Gaza. Writing, art, music, poetry is not a luxury in Gaza. It is the way how we live. This is the way how we can take a breath. And I love Gaza because of that. I love being artist from there.
Thank you. شهد أهلا تفضلي.
Thank you all. It warms my heart to see you, this beautiful gathering, to give us a space to speak. So thank you all for being here and to give yourself a chance to express. Something that I would love people to know about us, that we are human beings, that they are breaks at some points, heals, love to be heard, and human beings that they are valued, that they are not just news or numbers, that they have dreams, that they have families who care about them, that they are simply human beings, machines. They have feelings, they have emotions, they have everything as you.
شكرا شهد. أحمد أهلا وسهلا تفضل.
Hello, I would like to start by expressing how I cannot but only see the audience as my distant family. So, hello, my brothers and sisters, and I hope to see you soon in person. I would like to answer the question by saying my bio usually shows the finished products, rarely the ones that are still being built. So I would like to take this opportunity to share with you what is coming. So there is a master class being developed with Coastal Lines Press on narrative, storytelling, and language. It asks how stories shape the way we see the world and how language becomes the new battleground where the truth is defended or erased. It launches early next year, and I hope people follow our press closely. It's not just another course, but as an invitation to sharpen the way we read power.
I think the three of you, in a way or another, talk a lot about memory and how writing preserves memory and how it is a tool against erasure. So, Shahid, I'd like to ask you something. In one of your writings, you said, because stories must be told, because my people's suffering cannot be forgotten, because words have the power to bring life to what others try to erase. So my question to you is, what do you think your words are trying to bring life to?
Maybe my words are trying to bring life to my sister, who I have lost a year before. This month will mark a year. I was the one who maybe left, but I don't know how we switched the rooms, and now I'm here and she is in heaven, inshallah. So it's also for my best friend Iman, for Gaza city, for the streets that they are destroyed, for the buildings, for the trees that they disappeared, for the sea, for everyone who lost life and had dreams. And I really hate to use the past tense as if they were just a memory, because they are not. They are living with us in other ways. For everything that don't have this advantage to speak in other ways, for I don't know, but for everything that don't have voice, I'm here, the voice for all of you. And I wish that I'm delivering their voices as it should be, or in a way that could honoring them. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Shahid. And that brings me actually also to Mariam, because you spoke about like that this zine is not only about loss, but also about the persistence of life and the refusal to be forgotten. And you also talk a lot about the memory of Gaza before the genocide, that the memory is both personal and collective. And what interests you is to preserve this memory. So are you still able to imagine Gaza before the genocide? And what is this memory like?
Yes. First, people now maybe seeing Gaza after 2 years under genocide, under the machines, under rebels, under rockets, and seeing the shelters, seeing the camps, seeing the people who's died. But no one see what is Gaza before. Gaza before genocide, it was a simple city. Like a girl, he's wake up every day trying to move on her bad nights, bad dreams. Gaza even have a 4 and 5, 6, 7, 10 wars before the genocide, and she was always try to rebuild herself, to put a makeup in her city and go in the morning and facing life. But this genocide destroyed all of trying Gaza before. And I'm as a Mariam, and I wanna live and what a memory I wanna have that me before 7 October, me as the one who's get up every day, go to my university, see the sea, see the people who's trying to make their work, people they're trying to facing something beautiful in their lives, people whose dreams, people who have things to do every day, not people that killed every day, not the peoples and the students that are in the queue and bread. No, the students in the queue and the schools, and they are going still alive. Because of that, I think archiving Gaza before 7 October, before the genocide, is really important just to show the life that, show the world we had life and we was trying under siege, we was trying under exhausted city. And I'm really proud of Gaza as a city, not because I'm just from in Gaza, because she's like a beautiful woman. She was just waking up and trying to rebuild. The building was destroyed, the hospitals was destroyed, and the people who was they killed, she's always waiting them in the night. And I always say that the sky of Gaza is open every day and every night to welcome the martyrs who was go, and we are waiting them to back, as we waiting them and we putting them in our memory, writing about them, about dreams. I'm just wanna archiving the simple things, the sound of the street, the sound of the cars, the sound of people. Because of that, I believe what is hit Gaza to where we are now, and why is people now here to listen about the memory of Gaza, the memory of what is before the genocide. It is not just Gaza, and not just a rebel, Gaza, and not just the camps. Gaza is not about the death.
Thank you, Mariam. I think you all raised this in different ways, that Gaza should not be reduced to rebels, like it was reduced physically to rebels, but the memory and the lives of people and the experiences should not be reduced to rebels as well. And that brings me to Ahmad, because you also wrote about these things. And you said that your zines capture not just the destruction of the place, but the persistence of ordinary existence within it. So my question to you, Ahmad, how do you think ordinary existence is possible under unordinary, extraordinary, massive destruction and slaughter? Where do you find the persistence? Tfaddal, Ahmad.
Yeah, thank you for this question. When I talk about ordinary existence, I'm not trying by any way to soften or normalize violence against Palestinians. And I do want to remind everyone, including Palestinians, that we are not symbols. We're just like your neighbors. We love, we fail, we argue about groceries just like you do, and we carry dreams and disappointments about last night's football match, just like everyone else. So we are ordinary people placed inside an unordinary life, basically. And for me, The right word isn't resilience, but stubbornness, actually. We are not flexible. We don't let life just bend us in ways. We actually bend life around us. And as I've always said, many flags have flown over this land. Only the Palestinians have and will remain. So persistence, to answer the question directly, persistence appears in the tiny things that continue without permission. So it's a mother that still braids her daughter's hair, a kids turning rubble into playground because they refuse to wait life to restart or for other people to restart it for them, and someone who boils water for tea even when the roof of his house is gone. So these gestures don't erase the horror that happened, but they only expose the human instinct to keep making meaning even when the world is trying to kick Palestinians out of humanity altogether.
Beautiful. Shukran, Ahmed. Shahid, if I can ask you, like, if you can talk a little bit about what does it mean to be a writer under siege and genocide, ongoing genocide? What are the challenges you faced? How this is changing the way you write, you choose your stories, where you write, these type of things. If you could talk a little bit about that.
The only thing I was afraid of is that to be targeted because I write. I'm not that person, that famous writer, but I was always have this fear deep inside. And I had this discussion lots of times with my mom that she was really afraid that something might happen to us, to me especially. And I do remember when I get out of rebel and injured and stayed at hospital for some days. The first day that I get out of hospital, there is someone who visited us, and I don't know if she meant her question or her sentence or not, but it strikes me when she said that the first moment when we heard about you are injured, we thought because it's your writing, and I advised my daughters to not write or post anything on social media. So why? What? It took me lots of days to pass on this sentence, even though it wasn't because of me. What happened is not for me or not because of me, as she mentioned, but it was this fear that was always deep inside. But the courage that even I had from my family to continue was more stronger than this fear. It's why I continued to write, because maybe we are not just writing, we are documenting the history that will be told the next few years, that maybe was not the same during the Nakba, the catastrophe. And this is the power of writing and documenting what is happening on the ground, to see these testimonies and the stories that get out of each family and each home in Gaza, and what is really exactly happening, not what is the media trying to transfer or delivering. This is what our writers trying to pass on these things to people, because lots of people didn't knew Gaza or Palestine before this genocide. And when they just knew it, they knew it because of this power that was leading through writings, through speakings, through the power of words. So it was so challenging, but in the same times, we are so proud that these words are transferred to so many people around the world, and that they were able to get the correct idea that of what's going on the ground.
Shukran. Thank you, Shahid. Ahmed and Maryam, I would like to ask you, what does it mean to be a writer that is not physically anymore in Gaza? What does that do to your memory and the way you choose your stories? We can start with Maryam. تفضلي.
I left Gaza after 165 days of genocide, and after 20 days of leaving Gaza, my mother called me that your grandmother was burned in a Shifa hospital. When I just coming this news in my mind that my grandmother, his old is 19 years old, that is more than the Israel's country or Israel apartheid, and she was killed because the soldier burned her, and I did nothing. I was just looking as a crazy person who didn't know how I can do just to surviving my family from this point. I called my mother after 2 days from this news, and I told her that I can't believe that my grandma was died. She told me, no, it is not just your grandma, your uncles, your aunts also was killed. And I was really shocked because how I can feeling this death, how I can smell the death, and there is a long distance between me and my family. How I can feel the death, it's my inside body without I'm in Gaza. When the genocide and my family go from their houses and I was here in the house, I feel that I'm really cold inside my home. I feel for my family that they are cold in the tents, but I'm now in the homes. I'm always that writing give me the sense of what my family feeling in Gaza and what is I'm feeling here. When I'm writing to them, I'm feeling. When they are cold, I'm writing about their cold and I can feel that I'm cold. When my father called me that he's told me he's hungry, I feel I'm hungry and I can't eat anything. And I look into the food of what is that? My family, they have a food to eat. When I'm listening that there is my grandma parent, I feel the fire inside me and I can do anything to stop this fire inside me. Writing helped me or put me in the situation of what they are living, of what they are facing now, of what they are now feeling. Always when I'm speak with my little sister, I always ask her to write about her feeling in me. Just when I'm reading her feelings, reading her book, I'm just feeling that I'm with her and I want to really hug her just to say to her that you are safe, but she's not. Being outside Gaza, it is the fake name to be as a survivor. We just surviving the death, but we are living in life after death. You can't imagine how it is really bad when I'm hear the sound of a train. I think was like the rebels. When I hear the sound of cars, I hear the sound of the rockets. When I see the queue in my university, I stand in a queue because I waiting the it's. But there is no it's an university. There is no rebel. There is no rockets. There is nothing here related to the war. But I'm carry the war inside me.
Ahmed.
To be honest, it's an awkward position in life to be in, and I cannot come to terms with this fact or to truly describe it to myself or others. And the best of what I could say, it's like the feeling of being a branch watching the tree burn. So we're connected, but at a distance that burns and hurts in its own way. The distance does change memory too. It sharpens some things and blurs others. and makes responsibility even heavier to write honestly without freezing Gaza in time in a single moment, and to keep up living with the reality even if we are not there. So we're not also stuck in nostalgia of past lovely Gaza that we were in. About the stories, I don't really choose my stories. They arrive. So I'll be walking, eating, and suddenly a whole life appears in my mind. I've come to believe that the stories I write are voices of people who never had the chance to speak. People who were bombed or sniped or were kidnapped by the occupier. Uh, their voices do not disappear. They look for another body to carry them. And when a story calls me, it feels like a duty to answer, so that when the morning comes, I can look at the mirror and know for a fact that I didn't run away.
Read the part that you have chosen to read for us. What do you think the people here can do to support the project? What are you hoping for the project, and how we can support it? Actually, Shahid, do you want to go first?
This pictures I'm so proud of, and I wish that this will not just stop at any point, just to keep going and to keep reaching more and more people. People needs to hear these stories, needs to read these stories, needs to feel the lives that they are written in these zines. I wish that this light will never fade away at any circumstances. We will keep pushing this until we will reach point that we will not have enough. We will keep to give voices for the writers that they may not had any chance until this moment to be publishing anything. These zines are really light for the writers and light for everyone around, everyone out. It's holding our hearts, not just our words, our feelings, our emotions, everything that our tears, and even the nights that we were not able to sleep, we hold our pens, open our notebooks, and starting to write, to pure everything outside, and to give it maybe for someone just to feel these. So I wish that you could gift yourself any zine you would love to have, and give yourself a chance to feel these words and to connect with them. So yeah, I would love to you have a chance to be able to travel with our words to Gaza, and inshallah in the future to the Gaza that we will rebuild.
Shukran, Shahid. Thank you. Ahmad, I will switch order this time. So we go with Ahmad. Tfaddal.
Okay. So I would say, despite what the Israeli propaganda says about how complicated the situation is in Palestine, personally, I think Palestine is a simple truth when you follow the strings. So I don't want you to buy my zine and go on to talk about the story or about Palestine or how nice the event was. I want you to talk to actual Palestinians. And when you go home and the lights turn off, think of how to build around you. Palestine is in you. Palestine is in your old neighbor struggling on the stairs, a child in the park who cannot find their toy, a kind smile on a Monday morning's rush hour traffic. And freeing Palestine starts by freeing you. freeing your community from the shackles of selfishness. Think of what you can offer, what you can build for others, and think of how to be useless to the colonial machine. And if coastal lines can teach you anything, is to always remember a wing cannot lift another wing until it heals.
شكرا أحمد. مريم تفضلي.
Even as the words say that the history is written by the people who's weak or the people who are really strong. But I want to tell you that the history is written by the people who's lived inside. And coastal line is one of the way to write a history about us, about Gaza, about the dreams that now they are in the skies, about each thing in Gaza it was before. First, I do wanna that just to support Palestine, to say that we are supporting Palestine, but it's feeling that there is one in the country who's lived in the tent and the cold eat their bones, and they didn't have a sexual time to go to the schools, and they didn't have a cars to go to their works. This is small details, people in Gaza dying because of them, because the badly routine in our lives as we live, people in Gaza dreamed to live this badly routine. And I want to use just to support more writers to write, because there is a lot of stories that is must heard from the people who didn't have that hobby of writing, people just we can meet the people to writing about their owns. If you want to know more about Palestine, about Gaza, and about what is happening inside, it is not just to see the news and to show the picture of the people who's killed. No, you want to know what is happening when the one was killed and his mother looking to his body was defended. You want to feel that's what is meaning when you are a student and you lost 3 or 4 of years in your years in education, and you lost your scholarship, and you can't leave Gaza, and you can't go to your university, and you can't study, and you are complete your studying under this trouble. You want to feel what is meaning of dreaming under the tents and there is a rockets above you. Where is this real story is coming from these people. It's not coming from the Israeli news or somewhere like somewhere else. It is coming from the people who's now are in the sky, and their dreams need from us to write about and to hear about. And there is a lot of people, we have the duty to them to write and to raise their voices, to raise their dream. Even if they can't live their dreams, we can help them to reach them to the sky.
شكرا مريم. I'd like to ask you now to read the parts from your writings. We can start with random order. Who would like to start first? Ahmad, let's go with you.
Okay, thank you,
What-
Shahid and Mariam. So this is an excerpt from the zine, Someone's Daughter. So this is a message from the mother of one of the characters to her children. When you wake, let your hand rest over your heart. Feel it whisper back to you. That sound is your first home. No matter where you go, it will always know the way. Keep your shoes by the door, even when you sleep. You never know when the ground will ask you to move. If you ever feel alone, remember, you are never walking by yourself. I will walk beside you in the dust, in silence, in the sound of your name. Carry the small things, a piece of bread, a kind word, a memory that burns soft. These are stronger than stone. These are what survive.
مريم تفضلي.
Okay, I want to read a part of my zine. It's called about archiving Gaza City. Gaza lives in color, in texture, and fragments that linger in the eye long after the moment has passed. To walk its street, it's been overwhelmed by endless colors. The reds of tomatoes spilled high in the wardens, carrots glistening under the sun, the deep green of parsley, and the mince stacking in the bundles that perfume the air, the yellow of the lemon that look like butterfly. Every market stall become a painter palette. Every alley is the canvas. The walls, to speak, layers of gravity, some political, some playful, overload of flame pimps surviving, poster of martyred stars out with corners, their faces half fading and caught between the memory and forgetting. Stretched between balconies, dripping with the colors, school's uniform, blankets, dresses patterned with the flowers, about them the sky, sometimes too wide, sometimes too close, holds the weight of dresses along of immigration birds. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariam. تفضلي شهد.
Growing up in Gaza, I suffered through many wars: 2008, 2012, 2014, and 2022. But this war is the worst. My grandmother is a survivor of Nakba catastrophe. She tells us that this war is worse than Nakba. It's a genocide. However, I'm still holding into hope of being alive and enjoying peace one day in my country. I'm a refugee in Gaza, originally from Beersheba, Palestinian city, taken by the Israeli occupation, which displaced my grandparents. Gaza immersed all of us. It was a shelter and a home for the homeless. Gaza was our only choice, and it was the best. My grandmother always tells us about our Palestinian cities, even though we haven't visited any of them. We have experienced them in our minds through her stories. I have never been outside of Gaza before, yet I carry the whole world in my heart. Even if the world does not welcome us Palestinians, we are still trying to be, to exist. In my first year as an English literature student, the first thing we learned was Shakespeare's quote, "To be or not to be, that is the question." It resonated with me deeply because of how much it expresses the Palestinian struggle to remain in our own land. I will never stop fighting with my voice and my words to get our land back. Gaza taught me the true meaning of love, hope, beauty, resilience, and strength. It showed me how to persevere, and if I faltered, how to rise and start again. From Gaza, I learned how to give and forgive, how to love and live. Through its heart, I saw beauty in the world. Yet the occupation has never allowed Gaza to simply exist. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Shahid. Thank you, Shahid, Ahmad, and Mariam, for the beautiful readings. All of you, really.
Thank you so much. I'm really so happy to see you all, and it was a very valuable time. I hope that you could come back home with even one thing, holding it in your heart.
Thank you. We have space maybe for one question from the audience, if anyone wants. Okay, if not, then we close it here. And really, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you all for being here tonight. I can't tell enough how this evening was important, was inspiring, was extraordinary, was heartwarming, was motivating. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We made it despite everything, internet, worries, we made it. Thank you so much. I would really have wanted this event to last hours and hours, but I'm sure there will be other opportunities with the writers. You have the opportunity today to show your support to them. Buy their zines, they are outside. It's a great Christmas gift. Go to their fundraisers, donate to them, spread the word, talk to other people, support their work, amplify their voices, follow them on social media. All the proceedings, again, of this event will go to support the writers. I want to end by thanking everyone who worked on this event. Layla, all the people, Kat, everyone who organized, who worked. There are so many anonymous comrades who have been behind this event. And I think we now can stand and give warm goodbye to our writers. Free Palestine, free Gaza, end genocide. We love you. Shukran.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Boom, as well. Thank you, PA Allies, and thank you to all the Coastal Lines Press volunteers. I love you all so much. And the authors, I love you. Thank you so much. You're brilliant.